Stefan Kirch, we want to hear what you want to say to us.
Again, short, I assume. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we performed basically a masterclass about like the Nevomo use cases at SET, and especially interesting is why, for example, GATX is cooperating with us. So that was a longer discussion because GATX is a standard rolling stock provider. So they provide container wagons, and why should they cooperate with a Hyperloop-inspired company? And basically, the idea behind cooperating with us is they are searching for new business models. And if we as Hyperloop companies succeed, then a railway undertaking might not be needed anymore. So it's then about operators or who owned the wagons. So when GATX understood this, like a year ago, they approached us, and I think that was quite interesting also for the crowd. So it's not about like, for them, like making better freight wagons. For them, it's like succeeding in business going forward and being like the first to have such kind of wagon. And then the second use case was about Tata Steel and how we could like retrofit even those torpedo wagons, so 800-ton, 16-axle, 1,600-degree hot liquid steel wagons, and how they could run over the infrastructure. So I think also here, like the railway guys in the room, loving those big vehicles, I think had some excitement stuff to show. We were not sharing too much details, like on the number side, but just to give you a number, if the 2 tracks and systems would be like retrofitted in IJmuiden, we could reduce the number of shunting operations there by 60,000 shunting operations a year, which is huge. And you can calculate yourself like what that would mean on OPEX side or sustainability side and such. And then like a lot of good comments, also like a lot of good discussions on the technical side, like, oh, what if there's a power outage and an 800-ton, 1,600-degree hot torpedo wagon just gets crazy without a shunting locomotive? How could you catch it again and like bring it back to the depot and that it's safe? And yeah, so that was basically our masterclass. Good discussions, but I think also like quite practical use cases that are not like in 2040, 50, 70. Use cases that could still happen this decade, and as I said, this is the way to go because it has to start now, and we have to change something now in railways to come to Hyperloop stage, but also like to succeed as railways. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much, and thanks Hans and Julian for being with us on stage. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Masterclass Captain 2, welcome on stage. Alexei, we want to hear what you... I will do it for you. I will do it for you. Come on stage.
So Martin will bring this amazing flipboard chat made by our small but effective team. And meanwhile, guys, yeah, oh, please. Yeah, so our team drafted a roadmap for Hyperloop technology sustainable subsystems power supply. So it was, you know, like a workshop, productive workshop. We walked through different scenarios, use cases, thought how we can really make power supply sustainable. What power source to choose? What power source to select? And in the end, we have 10 different steps that can be used by business or science in general. More or less, they can be applied almost to any project. And the main outcome is that you can more or less predict sustainability of Hyperloop, of given Hyperloop project. Predict CO2 emissions, and in general, everything starts from segmentation of problem. So the larger the problem, the more details you need in it. And we try to solve the problem also of infrastructure, how to build sustainable infrastructure. That's a real question, how to build sustainable infrastructure. A lot of stakeholders, a lot of details, a lot of challenges, and the more you get inside these details, kind of the the more analysis and research is needed. And also, what we noticed to support panel discussion, actually, transparency is needed, and also interoperability between different subsystems is needed, so they would be could be interchangeable. And then, in the end, also all subsystems must be recyclable. So how much waste they produce? Is it possible to use in different Hyperloop projects? And also in scope of processes, it is recommended to review by different stakeholders every subsystem. So guys, to sum up, these are 10 steps how you can make your project more sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you. Danke. Masterclass Captain 3. Please come on stage. You have also something to? No. No. So,
we discussed basics of vacuum physics, you could say. So we didn't have a big session, so I'm glad everyone here around already knows vacuum quite well, which I hope is. So we had a short quiz on basic vacuum physics, and then we're discussing load lock strategies and how to handle leakage and what to expect. How to size vacuum systems. So we had a very, very brief overview of how we design vacuum systems for Hyperloop.
And last but not least, Masterclass Captain 4, my colleague, Markus Ebert. Applaus.
Always follow the rules. By the way, I didn't get the memo that you needed a presentation at the end, but I'll try my best. So very quickly, we looked at Hyperloop projects, and we sort of turned the whole thing time-wise upside down, and we looked at what does have to happen technology-wise to make a project profitable towards the end to allow for project financing. We had a great discussion, so thank you everybody for participating. Really loved the exchange, was a great energy, great dynamics, and happy to also follow up on this in bilateral talks, and whoever likes, just reach out. Thank you.